This is a sponsor for Spamalot. I went on Saturday night. So my experience at Spamalot was a bit different this time because this was actually one of the first shows in a while that I haven't seen during tech and haven't seen a run through. So just being in the audience and purchasing a ticket was a little different for me. Um, I kind of prefer the tech route. I like to be in there and I like to see more of everything that's going on. I mean, I was a part of the building and the other things, but this was the first time I wasn't really seeing how everything was put together and like how the castle was moved and that kind of stuff. So it was a bit weird for me to just be an audience member, but it was also kind of a cool experience because I just got to take a show in for the first time at Chico State and just kind of like analyze it from just an audience perspective instead of someone who's working on the show, because I always look at it differently when I'm doing that. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought that the show was really fun and a really, really good time. I think it's a well written show because it as you said in prompt two, it pokes a lot of fun at theater itself, and it pokes a lot of fun at a lot of things. I think Laxton Auditorium is actually always a different experience. But when you're going looking at Wismer and you're looking at Laxton Auditorium, Wismer is a much more intimate space. It's much more, the action is right in front of you. You can really see what's going on. You can really see facial expressions and a lot of specificity that you can't see in a large proscenium theater. And I think that was something that if I were to be sitting in the back, I might have missed. But since I was in the fifth or sixth row, I actually saw a lot of the specificity, which I really enjoyed, because characters such as like Hugo or Michael Graham, they all were very funny because you could see, how big their facial expressions are because they have to play to the back of the audience, but in the front, it's just they're really big, and so it makes it a lot more fun for me because I personally know them and also just know the show. So that was a lot of fun. As for prompt two, does it effectively lampoon musical theater? I think that us as theater people a lot of times don't like to poke fun at ourselves. It's something that I really have not come across very much. I mean, I'm still pretty young, but few shows I've actually seen really poke fun at theater, which it's nice to, as someone who does theater, it's nice to see like the lampooning, the making fun of, we're so screwed. Broadway doesn't come for 1,000 years in the future, and like stuff like that. As for the powerful, I think there are a few parts of this show that were actually really powerful. One specifically was the comment on homosexuality at the end with Lancelot and Eric's character. I forgot what his name was, but it's the two men that actually get married at the end, and Lancelot stands up and it goes a pause for a second, and he says, "In 1,000 years, this will still be controversial," which I thought was actually pretty funny, and also just a really, you know, big poke at the system. Now, I assume from the racist question that you're talking about that you can't succeed on Broadway without any Jews, which actually I did feel a bit uncomfortable when I was watching, actually. I mean, I thought it was really funny, but at the same time, it was very, very, very overtly like Jewish people bring in the money, Jewish people bring in the crowds, and I think it was, it could be looked at as poor taste, but knowing Monty Python, I think making fun of the Jews was a big part of their shtick in a few of the movies and as well as some of the TV show. So I understand why it's in the show, but I think, kind of just the way we did it. I mean, I guess you have to do it the way the show does, but, with the Jewish star coming in and the bottle dance and all that kind of stuff, it seemed just a bit too much.